Firmware is a supply chain battleground, and we are going to treat every file as either suspicious or a threat. Whether it's a PLC on a plant floor, a camera in your lobby, or a laptop BIOS, firmware is the new supply chain battleground. And too many teams still treat updates as safe by default. Today, I will safely simulate a tampered update and show how to vet it with trust no file approach or pipeline using OPSWAT Meta Defender Core. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Irfan Shakil. Today's topic is critical and often ignored, and it matters equally for OT and IT security. We will adopt the Meta Defender Core philosophy, and we are going to treat every file as either suspicious or a threat. Whether it's an update from a well-known vendor or a file from your own team. Every environment ingests firmware and update packages. OT assets, PLCs, HMIs, IT hardware such as router, switches, cameras, endpoint devices, BIOS, etc. Think about printer, IoT, same core risk applies to all of these. Untrusted binaries and tooling with vulnerable component. In today's tutorial, we will mimic two real-world situations. Hypothesis A, Malware-in-Payload. The file itself is malicious, wrapped in a legit-looking firmware package. And the hypothesis B, vulnerable but clean. No malware at all, but the update tooling contains vulnerable components. I have built a file. Firmware demo is a file that that I've just built. And as discussed, there are two use cases or two scenarios. One where malware within the files as a payload, and another example or hypothesis B where your, let's say, an update, your firmware update is clean, however contains the vulnerable files. So what I did here is just to mimic an actual update, I have created firmware.bin, and in that particular firmware.bin file, I have added a string, which is the known malware. You can simply check just notepad, and you can see that the string is in here. So we are not testing, or we are not running a real malware in this simulated environment. Instead, we are going to use a known signature so that all the malware AV engine should be able to track it for this demonstration purposes. And I have added some additional strings as well in here. Similarly, readme.txt file is just trying to mimic a real update, because in a typical update or firmware update or BIOS update, whatever, whenever you get an update from a vendor, you get in most of the scenarios you get these files by default. So this JSON file, again, I've calculated the hashes, and I'm simply calling these both files firmware.bin here. You can see the hash in here, readme file, size and hash in here. A typical use case, we have our files, and in one of the file is basically a malware. Instead of executing the command, let's send them to zip. It's gonna work eventually. So what we are going to do here is we are just creating a zip file that we are going to scan it using the MD core, and then we are going to test whether this hypothesis, an MD core, is able to detect it or not. Let's say this one is an update from a well-known vendor, and what if you just trust a vendor and you just let it pass through your security gates and install it? If you do that, you are not properly following the security procedure. Anyway, let me quickly show you the file B, and then I will give the demo all together. So in here, similar to the other scenario, in here we are assuming that the file itself is clean. This particular file is does not contain any malware. All of these files, they are not malware at all. These files are very clean, and it has as discussed in the other case, pretty similar structure. We have the manifest JSON file in here. You can see that I have already created the hash value of both the files, such as updated.jar and the log4j jar file, which is that is inside the library folder in here. You can see now this these three files, they are clean. What's the problem in here? Let's say in first case or hypothesis A, the file itself contains malware, so you should not let it pass. What if you see that an update coming from your vendor, and it's clean, no trigger, no AV is flagging that? What to do? Should you let it pass? Of course not. If one parameter of your security, one let's say gatekeeper is saying that the file is okay, you should use other gatekeepers and keep on checking your files from other parameters or scenarios, such as the vulnerability. So for example, in this case, this particular file, this file is okay. However, within the library we have log4j, which is the famous, one of the famous vulnerability discovered in the history. If I just rely on the multi-scanning or antivirus engines, then I'm not protecting my environment. That is why the defense in depth approach or multiple technologies or systems should be in place to fully protect your environment. Anyway, we are going to run both of these files one by one, but let's quickly jump and demo the hypothesis A, in which we are going to show you how to detect a malware within the file, an innocent looking file. We are going to use OPSWAT Meta Defender Core, as I said earlier, and let's quickly scan our first vulnerable file, malware. So the hypothesis is simple, as you know, that we are going to scan a file. We are assuming our approach is that do not trust any file. So trust no file. You must be scanning every single file, whether it's coming from your well-known vendor. So scanning the file, and here you can see that it is infected. Now you must be wondering that the meta scan in here, it's 0 out of 4 engines saying that the file is clean, because that file of malware.zip itself is clean. However, the file within that, which is the firmware.bin, is infected. So that's the beauty of the MD core, or I would say that ops or multi-scanning technology. It and the archive, so it goes down within the archives and archive, and take and scan each individual file. So it scans bytes basically. Anyway, so when you click in here on this specific file, you will see that the it is being detected by some of the common. And by the way, I'm using 4 AV engines here at the moment, just for just so you know, you can use up to 32 or more, even more than 32 AV engines. So I'm using the 4 for this demonstration purpose only. Anyway, so the point is proven here. Even if the file looks good, it's not clean. It may not be clean. Just make sure from your end you should be checking, scanning through MD core technologies. All right, now moving on to our case B. So the hypothesis is pretty simple, that the file is clean, and we are definitely going to scan a clean file, but it has the vulnerable packages, components, or just pieces, tiny piece of software. But that tiny piece of software, if it goes into your environment, it's going to open the door for the attackers. So you'll have to make sure that you scan everything and treat them with the correct policies. So in here, I'm going to scan this file to test the hypothesis B. Now, in my MD core, I have set up the policy in a way that if it finds the vulnerable or potential vulnerable file, is going to block it. However, up to you. You can quarantine, you can send it to your SOC team for further analysis, and possibilities are endless. But for this demonstration, I'm going to show you that, hey, this is being blocked. My security, in my hypothetical organization, security is very tight, and even if it's a vulnerable file, malware, I'm going to block it. I'm not going to let it go through to my network. Anyway, so I just blocked it, and as you can see that the meta scan is saying 0 detected, As we all know that the file itself is clean, doesn't contain any malware. Even when I click in here, you will see that the Metascan is saying that zero detected. However, the vulnerability assessment component is raising flag. So in here, you can see that several vulnerabilities been detected. You can see the CVE ID along with CVSS score and OPSWAT severity score. And again, you can get into the further details. But as I said earlier, it all depends on your policy. You can send it to your SOC. You can either, temporarily, restrict access to this file for further analysis. And once you have further analysis, you can even set criteria. Let's say if the OPSWAT, severity is less than 53, you can, let it pass. So again, up to you. But the point here is simple. No matter what, do not trust any file. Let it go through the MD core and make sure to use other technologies as well, which I will be discussing in other videos. But for now, our hypothesis has been proven, and we have the results in here. Let's take it further now. You can't antivirus your way out of vulnerable supply chain components. File-based vulnerability assessment surfaces what's inside so you can get a risky tooling before deployment. Remember, one control is not a strategy. Here's simple, reliable pattern that works for both OT and IT. Gate 1, Ingress, where files enter email from service vendors, vendor portals, partner share, USB intake. What do you need to apply? Both multi-scanning in addition to FBVA automatically. Now the decision is simple. Lock if malware, hold if critical or high CVE is found. Gate 2 is more like a staging environment where files sit, your SMB, NAS, SharePoint, cloud buckets, artifact repos. What do you need to apply? So auto scan on write at rest, rescan if files change. Now gate 3 is more like deployment. Before distribution, crossing zones, MDM, UEM pipelines, change windows, or maybe OT transfer points such as kiosk. Policy, publish only if multi-scanning is equals to clean, and FBVA says no vulnerability or no critical CVEs. Just 3 scenarios or 3 ideal scenarios or gates as I discussed. There could be multiple scenarios, many gates, and many security controls. It all depends on your security policy. So study your own network infrastructure. Maybe you want a separate security policy for a specific segment or users or zone. Similarly, you might need to adopt a separate security policy for your high profile users, such as your executive team, or maybe high profile network, let's say your OT environment or your data center or data environment. Anyway, so there could be multiple policy, multiple gate. It all depends on your own security policy, organization security policy. MD Core offers other so many technologies. We have just discussed the multi-scanning and vulnerability assessment, but think about deep CDR, DLP, and so on. We are going to cover all of these technologies in other videos. However, the point is pretty simple. Adopt, configure based on your security policy. So 2 problems, 2 controls. Hidden malware, multi-scanning, vulnerable components, FBVA. Applicable to both OT and IT firmware and update pipelines. Remember, multi-scanning finds bad bytes. FBVA finds risky ingredients. Use both at multiple gates. And here comes the quick recap. Case A proved why we don't trust wrappers. Multi-scanning stopped a malicious payload. And in case B, it's been proven why AV alone is not enough. FBVA exposed a risky dependency in an otherwise clean package. If your process assumes vendor updates are safe, you are already behind. Trust no file. Do you want to explore more production technologies? Click on the link given in the description of this video. And do not forget to follow this channel or go to OPSWATacademy.com for more educational content and tutorial.